Okay, I guess we're going to get started. We have a little bit smaller group tonight than we had last night, but still, I'm going to tell you guys, if the presenters are not speaking loud enough, just do this. Okay? Housekeeping items, there is restrooms. If you go out the door to the right, straight ahead, there's a ladies' bathroom, and the men's is... Oh, never mind. Like, welcome to alternative.
Straight ahead here.
Huh?
There
There's
was
no
also
straight
one
ahead?
straight ahead to the right.
Okay, oh, straight ahead to the right then as well.
Yeah.
Welcome to Alternative Senior Care 2019 annual training. The reason we do this is regulatory. We have to update you guys on some stuff, but every bit, if not more important, is we like to see you guys. And we hope that you like to see each other. We're not in an office environment. We don't have the ability to interact with each other on a regular basis. So it's really nice for you guys to get together, and we love to see your faces. So again, that's one of the reasons that we have this. I'm going to step out of the way here in just a minute, but this is also an opportunity for us to once again express our appreciation to you folks, our team. For some of you old timers, you've heard me say some of these things before, but they bear repeating. We've often said that caregivers are cut from a different cloth. You all, I mean, we're all called to serve, but you guys have hearts of a servant, right? Because that's what you do. You are serving other people. You are serving our clients. And so we so much appreciate that. And we as an office staff are the face of the company, but you as the caregivers are the heart and soul of who Alternative Senior Care is. And we know that, and we understand that. We have an awesome reputation out in the community. And that reputation, is because of you. Right? I mean, if we don't hire properly, we simply don't have a company. So you guys are the torchbearers, if you will. You are the ones that exude our reputation out there. You are not employees of Alternative Senior Care to our clients and their families. You are Alternative Senior Care. So let that sink in for a moment. I mean, you guys are, again, the heart and soul of our business, so we appreciate each and every one of you, and hope that you enjoy your evening.
All right, so a little bit about what tonight's gonna look like. In a little bit, we're gonna have an icebreaker for you guys to kind of get to know each other a little bit. Then we have our PowerPoint presentation from the office staff about some changes. Then when we're done with that, we have something new. We're gonna have breakout sessions. So Janine and Lainey and I each have a breakout session, and you'll have to choose 2 of the 3 of us to attend a breakout session, and we'll talk about that at the end. And then if you are a level 3 caregiver, you will stay, and the nurses and us will help retest your skills. If you are not a level 3, you're free to go home at that time. So that's just a little bit overview of what today looks like. I'm going to let Lainey handle this part of it.
Okay. So here's our icebreaker. We like to talk, right? Ladies like to talk. So we're going to take a few minutes and get to know each other. So you can find a couple people around you in your row and tell them your name, where you're from, and also think about and say 1 or 2 things of the quality of caregiver, your qualities that make you a good caregiver. And so just think of 2 words that describe your qualities of being a good caregiver. And ready, set, go.
Hi, I'm Sandy.
Hi, Joanne. I'm like brand new here.
Oh, so is Joanne.
So I'm in the office.
Yeah.
Get out your cell phone, if you have a cell phone. And
Oh, I
if you
do
don't,
mine
find
now.
a partner that does. And you're going to, instead of a phone number, you're gonna use 22333, and you're gonna text Cindy Karsh 304
As your message? That's the
as your message.
So the two, who we were texting to is 22333. In the message, put Cindy Karsh 304 and push send.
In all caps.
It's not, no, it's not case sensitive.
And if you don't have one, just pair up with someone that does.
It'll come on, slow. Oh. Well, Janine knows how stupid I am with my phone. You are. Yes, I am.
So are you
Those are
guys
my
ready?
grandchildren. Those are my grandchildren.
Okay, so where do you have texting?
Okay.
No response received yet.
Not gonna
Get
get
cuties. Okay, once you get in, you are going to text those 1 or 2 words that you shared,
One word at a time.
1 word at a time, that you shared about the quality of a good caregiver that you possess.
333.
And we're gonna create a picture with it.
Yeah.
You gotta put
22333.
Cindy, we gotta put Cindy first, right?
No, put the 22333.
22333. Okay.
And then in your message, yes.
Yay! Enjoy, learning, helping.
Put Cindy in there.
Oh, no, it's in here.
You can do more than 1 word.
Y.
Enjoy, home,
Okay.
calm. Helping, elderly, trustworthy.
One word at a time.
Anytime you need a good laugh.
Now you can put your word in here. Your whatever, when you said patience.
Patient, someone put a patient.
That's okay.
And Lauren, you can put, if you put a word someone else does, it's okay, it'll just keep rotating.
And then you're gonna take
Oh, there it is.
Oh, patient, that's what I said.
I'm gonna put,
Sacrificing,
See, patient.
hearing, stories,
and then do it again. Send.
compassion, trustworthy,
See it yet?
empathetic.
Yeah, that's okay, she said, yeah.
Kind, noble. Wow, look at trustworthy and helping is coming up a lot.
No, never.
Got room for more, there you guys go. That's awesome. And if you look around the room collectively, we really make a pretty awesome team, don't we? Pretty beautiful team here, not just on the outside, but also on the inside. You know, you guys bless your clients every day with these qualities. And I just want to say I'm so grateful and thankful to be a part of the team with you guys, because this really is, this is really a blessing to be able to know that we're sending caregivers out into homes and we're sending them out with these qualities and traits. So good job, guys.
You can even do emoji, look at that.
Oh, who did the
Somebody
emoji?
put a happy face, so I
That's
put
so
little hearts. That's
cute.
great.
Anybody else? Last call for?
Okay.
So we just want to know what people are saying about you guys. I know that sometimes the office staff tells you when they've heard something good from your clients, but I've gone through some of our records and I found these things. This one was brought to my attention. It says, "Dear Mike, Cindy, and amazing caregivers and staff, thank you for the kindness to us for the past 9 months. Your caring group is the greatest. God bless you with his love and care. Peace to you all." This was pinpointed for a couple of caregivers, but it really is meant for everyone. It really says what we're doing there. So I have some $10
Dairy Queen cards. Anybody like going to Dairy Queen? Mike. All right, so I'm gonna ask the question, I'm gonna see who can get the closest. How many caregivers do we currently employ?
96.
Does anybody else guess?
I was just gonna say 90.
85.
94.
I haven't heard it, it's really close, but I haven't heard it.
95.
97.
92.
98.
92 is, oh, it's 91. You were really,
It was around 90.
You were so close.
right in between, so there you go. So it's 91 caregivers. We're just gonna go over a little bit about our mission statement and our core values. So this is our mission statement, just as a review. It's really the reason that we come to work each day. We came up with this many, many years ago, and it still means a lot to us. Guided by faith, we are called to provide compassionate care and peace of mind to all those who desire to stay at home. Now I'm going to ask a question. Anybody know what our core values are? And I have gift cards for anybody that can name one of the four. We have 4 core values.
Compassion.
Anybody can think of what they are?
Compassion.
It's always a good one, but that's not what we put down.
Patience.
Trust, caring.
These are values now, not characteristics.
Oh. Honesty.
I know one.
She wants to hear you.
don't count.
Come on, I thought I could give out some of these cards. Yes. Yay, Caitlin.
What'd you say?
Faith. That's one of our core values.
Hope.
Faith. Love, charity.
Charity.
The greatest of these is love.
Yeah, right.
Brianna? So close. Darn it. Well, that just means we gotta talk a little bit more about it. So I'm gonna go through. Caitlin said faith. To me, and this can mean different to anybody, so I want you to think about what faith, one of our core values, faith, what that means to you. To me, when I think about why we put this down, is that the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing is I have faith that God has put me in this place. And over the years, I can think of times where I would maybe have somebody come to me and want a job as a caregiver, and I think, oh my goodness, they're like in Timbuktu somewhere, and I'm thinking, they're a great caregiver, but what am I going to do with them? Who are they going to help? They're so far out. And wouldn't you know it, within a week or two, I'd have a new client.
I'm looking at Leo.
I would have a new client right in their backyard. And I'd think, wow, there was a reason that person came to me. So I have faith that people come to us as caregivers and as clients, and that I'm doing what we need to do. So I just want you to think about what that faith means to you as far as our core value. So our next core value is trust. We can't do what we do unless everybody trusts each other. And that means...
Leona did say trust.
Oh, did she? All right, she just has to speak up.
She's in Timbuktu.
We need trust. Families need to trust us as a company. They need to trust you as caregivers. The caregivers need to trust us in the office, and as the office needs to trust our caregivers. It goes all the way. You can't be in this business and without having the trust. And with trust, we then build relationships. You have to have you can't go into somebody's home and do what we do without building a relationship, right? I mean, it just doesn't work. That's one of the reasons we're here today, is to build that relationship with you guys. Because you're out there, we don't get to see you very often, and we want that relationship. We think that's a good thing. It's a very important thing, not between you and us, you and your client, us and the client. It's just very important. And then flexibility.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, what flexibility means to us, and when we wrote our core values, it means that we want to offer flexibility to you, our caregivers, to work when you are able. We also want to offer flexible schedules to our clients, because their needs are always changing. And one of the reasons that we've grown as much as we have is that we offer something most home care companies don't offer, and that's flexibility. There are many home care companies that at 5 o'clock their staff are done. We have clients that have needs 24 hours a day. We all know that. We've all been there. And so what we're doing is providing that flexible care. It may be as an as-needed basis. Sometimes family comes in, sometimes we come in. It may be that we start at a few hours a week and all of a sudden they need more. That's that flexible that we offer them. So then we also ask our employees to be flexible in order to provide that care that our clients need. So when we say flexible, that's what we mean. And we're going to talk a little bit more as the year goes on in our newsletter about our core values. Here's another kudos for you guys. It says, our girls are so amazing. One gal changed out a dead battery in our car last week. Now, how many gals know how to do that? My husband is so impressed with her mechanical ability, so she has become so very special to him. You can replace that dead battery with anything. Maybe you bake some bread, maybe you clean the bathroom, maybe you wash some clothes, maybe you sat and read with them. Whatever it is that you do, that means so much to them. It doesn't have to be that you're a mechanic and change a battery. The little things that you do are what's important to them. And that's what she's saying here.
Oh, are you ready? This is our Heart of a Caregiver picture month. And I just want to say, I'm personally blessed by Malika because she puts such her heart and just all that she does. She just has such a caring heart.
I was like that.
And so I just want to present this to you and thank you so much for all that you do. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And has had the Heart of a Caregiver Award before. Could you please stand up, please? Thank you so much. We have 12 months a year. I wish we could get around to everybody, but we'll move back the other way.
Last night it didn't work at all, and now it's working really well.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, ladies.
All right, so this next section, we've had a lot of changes in the last year. In the last year, Mike and I have discovered that we need to not be working every day. The first half of last year we spent with his mother until she passed away at the beginning of April. As soon as she passed away, my mom went into hospice and she passed away in August, and then my dad, I mean, it's just been continuous. I'm still working with my dad to sell his house and get settled in his apartment. And so in that process, I realized that I need some help. So that's where Lainey and Janine have been promoted to what I call my directors. And I've split the business kind of in two parts for their sake. So Lainey is the director of operations, and she handles all the caregiving staff, you guys, with the training and onboarding. She helps in the office with the technology and just making sure the office is running. And Janine is on the client care side of it, which means she does the assessments and makes sure the scheduling done and the billing and the payroll is getting done. So they're my right-hand people right now because I just need to step back a little bit sometimes. I'm still there a lot, but I need to step back. I can see that there's going to be more and more that I need to step away from. So they're going to be doing a lot of that. And underneath them, so on the client care end of it, I'm going to have Paula and Michelle stand up because they're here today. Some of you haven't met Michelle. You've probably talked to Michelle on the phone. That's Michelle. Michelle is the scheduler here in the Alexandria area, and Paula is the scheduler and that does the intaker assessments and the rest of the area out there. And then I want to introduce, we have a new operations coordinator, which is what Janine did. Dory is our new operations coordinator.
We know each other.
No, that's something that you know. So she's gonna be the person that's gonna be doing all the new hiring. She's gonna be the one that's gonna be tracking down your yearly reviews and, you know, your paperwork, that training that you have to get in yearly. She's gonna be doing that underneath Lainey's direction. And then we have our nurses. I've got Sheila's here. The other two will be coming. If you haven't met Sheila, this is Sheila. Sheila works out of the Stock Center office. And then Lisa, you maybe have met. She works out of the Alexandria office. And then Doreen is our new LPN. She's been an LPN, but she came working for us as a caregiver. And now we've pulled her in to do some med setups and help our RNs. And hopefully when she retires, she'll come here more. That's our hope. You'll meet her tonight. She'll be helping with the level 3 testing. And then we have Brenda. Brenda's here. She's our support staff. She's the one that keeps us running. She's the one that, you know, got all the food organized and all the paperwork organized. She keeps us organized and running. All right, I have another fast fact or another gift card here. How many clients does Dewey currently have?
300.
280.
275. Yeah, it's 276. Last night the same lady won them both too. 276. All right, this is Janine.
We are.
All right, so who's liked Caspi? That was kind of the overall census we were getting. So I got together with Paula and Michelle, and we talked about it one day, and we just really had an open conversation, and we're like, this is just not working for us at all. And so I want to explain a little bit about the difference between Caspi and why it wasn't working for us. It wasn't working for us because Caspi is all about what you can work. And you're blocking yourself into this set schedule. And I realized that really goes against really what this business is able to accomplish. We are one of the only companies that can really fully pull off 24/7 care. So I thought, I think we just need to go back to the way it was. And originally, we would just ask people when they wanted to work. So we broadcast, and we text, and we ask because we don't know when we're going to get the next call or when someone's needs are going to change. Or we don't know if your plans changed. Maybe you thought you were going to be Wednesday night, you were going to be busy doing something. Well, our client still needs care, and hey, I've taken a shot in the dark and gotten something covered. So I'm going to continually try to help the clients. And we're going to take all of our efforts that we were putting into trying to plug in our work time into Caspi, and we're going to focus back on our clients. And we're going to use what works. ERSP works, and you guys seem to like the program. We've been really happy with it. I mean, so there's some features that I thought we'll just get rid of Caspi, and we're going to go over to ERSP and try where you can go in and add if you want time off. This is not your availability to work. It's the time that you want off. So I do have in your folder, there's instructions on how to enter your time into ERSP, a block in if you want time off. So you would log into ERSP, click Add New Block, and the reason for the block. So it's for vacation time. You can use PTO, or you don't have to use PTO, but you can add it in there. You go under the Availability tab when you log in as a caregiver, and then in there you can add the block. I'm going to give you some screenshots. They're not the clearest on here. So in the comment box too, we want you to add if your client needs a fill-in or if you want to use PTO time.
Or going to move it somewhere else.
Yeah, that would be good too. So on here, you can't see it real well, but there is some blocks that were submitted. Paula went in as the caregiver and added some blocks for a couple shifts. And I was like, well, how do you know if we're okay with you taking that time off? You're gonna need to know that. Well, in this screenshot, you can see she's still on with her clients, but time has not been accepted. When you go here, it's what it would look like if you submitted a block on your home screen. And here's how we know that her PTO time has been requested and her request for time off. Because her clients are not on her schedule anymore. And you can clearly see that she has caregiver PTO time claimed. So, this is going to bring up some questions. When's this all going to start? What time periods can you add blocks? Will this change the schedules when they become visible? And what if I'm not sure if my shift is blocked or not? Or the block has been accepted, excuse me. So I actually went in today to change this verbiage, and I thought it would be translated up here. I didn't realize it was downloaded.
Oh, yeah, it's not live, no.
No, but the point I want to get across is not to get too caught up in these details, because Paula and I are going to send out texts and really communicate well with you about these blocks and until we get a rhythm down. So, because right now there's got to be a point of change, and some of you have already put requests for vacation time in, and some of that was in CASB. So there's got to be a point of change. So just remember, this is for time off. You're not entering the times you want to work. You're going to get a text from us just like usual that your schedules are visible. You're able to view them. That's not going to change. But we're going to try to do that around the 15th of every month. Send you a text and let you know when it's visible. And we would like it if you can, by the 1st of the month, let us know what you want off. So for example, June 15th, you're going to be receiving a text that your schedule is visible for the month of July. Does that make sense?
So we have to have what we would want off for July in by June 1st.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And if you have any questions, just call us. We'll
How
help
far
you.
out can you go? Could you do August as well? No?
Oh, blocks, yes.
Yeah, you can add them.
Blocks out it further.
Yep, you can add them
Okay,
6 months ahead, but doesn't mean they're approved.
right.
Yeah. So it's when we say it's visible, you can see whether it's a go or not. You got to check your schedule. Just like it's kind of the same principle way it's been going. It's just we added that other program and it wasn't being utilized. So, okay, that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions for me? Are you excited about this change?
I didn't know that.
Okay, it was like an assignment. That's what I was doing.
I never figured it out, so I didn't realize.
Well, we're excited.
No, I know.
All right, I have another fast fact.
Jody, are you ready?
How many hours of caregiving service did all of you provide last month?
Oh.
975. 1,800.
2,200?
3,000.
4,500. 5,000.
A little higher.
5,010.
One.
What do we say?
5,250. 5,100.
5,470.
Let's see what it is, I have to remember.
5,500.
Who is the closest? Leona. Well, I know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna come to the Dairy Queen.
And you
but-
wonder,
I don't know.
1 month.
so you wonder why you've been getting so many broadcasts?
That's an amazing statistic.
That's just 1 month.
1 month. Yeah, like Janine said, no wonder you get so many broadcasts. Can you imagine how many people need our help?
Yeah, right.
So one of the topics that we're covering tonight for our policy and procedure is professional boundaries. And so, did you go?
What kind of boundaries?
Professional boundaries. We're talking about professional boundaries here. Okay, so
You working as a team.
we're talking, we've talked about this in initial training a lot, but I just want to always revisit the fact that we need to stay professional because we're working so close, one-to-one with clients that sometimes some things can get muddied. So you must provide care in a friendly manner, but that doesn't mean that you're friends. Meaning, when people have a friendship, it goes both ways. So the relationship meets both of your needs. And in a professional relationship, the focus is on the client, and only the client's needs are what we're focused on. Do you recognize that your relationship with your clients are professional, and it's not a personal relationship? We can behave in a really caring manner and be concerned with them, but always put their needs above our own needs. So we're going to say, is this a good idea or a bad idea? Okay, so you guys can shout out and let's see what we know. Think about your client frequently throughout the day. Is that a good idea or a bad idea? Bad idea. Spend your free time with your client. Bad idea. Listen and have empathy for your client.
Good idea.
Give the client your personal phone number. Bad idea. Politely refuse gifts from a client.
Good idea.
Tell them all about your aches and your pains. The 93-year-old lady needs to know that your back is sore from volleyball or whatever. Promise them that you won't tell anyone their secrets. Talk about another client in front of another client. Bad idea. If you politely refuse to handle a client's financial affairs, is that a good idea? Yeah. Make medical decisions for the client? Bad idea. So, I want to go back a screen. How do you go back? Like, oh, there you go. So we have some papers that you have in front of you, some scenarios. So I want you to get in a group of 2 or 3 and dialogue together. What would you do? How would you handle this?
Give you a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll take a few minutes. So I'm going to see a few, we'll go maybe a few rows back. Let's go back in Leona's row. Leona, can you read do you have, the first question starts with you have or right before?
You have.
Okay, you have a client that reminds you of your grandmother. She asked if you could come by sometime and visit her on the weekend. She'd love for you to bring your daughter and meet her, and then you guys could walk dogs together. What would you do?
I'd have to explain to her that, sorry, I can't. This is my work. It's not a fellowship.
That's a good answer. We don't want to hurt their feelings, but
Right.
we have to
We
have
have
a
to.
very gracious way of setting a boundary. Okay, let's look at Malika's row. Your client writes a check for $100 and gives it to you and says, please take this. I appreciate all you do.
She didn't have that question, sorry.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, who had that question? You guys? Okay.
We would just say, thank you, but we really don't accept gifts. If it's something you just insist on and your family would like to do, you can contact the office and you can talk with them and just say, you know, they always love to hear from you guys, so feel free to call them anytime.
That's a good answer. Like us on Google or like us on our Facebook page. Okay, the next one is in a change of shift at a client's home, you see a coworker in front of the client, Mary. She says, did you just come from John's house? I have him Saturday. Can you tell me what you have to do over there? Let's see, who has that one?
Oh, that is privileged information.
There you
You
go.
shouldn't be, sharing it with another, person.
Right, and if it's another caregiver, you can refer them to look at their ERSP and get more details, call the office, or step aside off of the client's time.
Blame the office.
Blame the office, we don't mind. Okay, again, Malika, Megan, and Jenna's row. Let's see, you were up all night, do you have that one? You were up all night with a sore back, and you come to work the next day, and the client asks you, can you clean my floors and cabinets down there? What do you tell your client?
We would love to. Absolutely.
Just help me up.
You mean
Okay, our last one. Let's see, the ladies in the back. The client daughter tells Darla, we like the way you clean at Mom's house. We want you to come twice a week, and we can just drop that alternative senior care. We're just going to pay it all to you instead. What would you say?
I guess I would just tell them we have to contact the office and do it through the office. I would rather you did it through the office.
Right, that's a good answer. You know, we have a covering being in the office. I mean, being in a company, not just if your clients change, you have the opportunity to have more clients than just working one-to-one with one person, but we have a covering. You know, there's not just insurance, there's a training, there's so much that comes from working under the office, but we have to make sure that we keep a good protocol. If your client ever asks you a question that's not in your scope to answer, and like if they're talking about billing or policy, always refer them to the office. The other day we got a phone call from a caregiver, and she was with her client, and she said, I was here with the client, she had a question about our services, and I just was facilitating the call so she could talk to someone in the office. That would be probably most appropriate. Just telling them, I don't know, I don't do that, it might just not be. So when we are setting boundaries, we want to do it graciously and kind, but we also want to make sure we protect our hearts too, because we do give a lot of ourselves out there, and we want to be able to do it in a way where if one person doesn't come and another person goes, that they're just as well received, because we can be interchangeable by setting good boundaries collectively. So, thanks, guys.
All right, so here's another note that we received. It says, I really appreciate my caregiver. She is very good in all she does for me. Thank you for caring and sharing. And that goes out to every single one of you guys. Oh, is this going to work?
I think so.
Okay, next screen over.
Next screen.
Oops. I went too far. So one of the things that we need to do on a yearly basis is just cover hand washing. So I signed this to Lainey, and this is what Lainey came up with.
Okay, don't judge. I tried to find something funny and I'm boring. Hand washing. Does everyone know how to wash your hands?
It's not really
So
something
you
you
cut it off at the
and you
end,
just
Mike.
do it for the rest of your life. So I wanted to make sure I was doing it right. So we got in touch with a doctor at the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, Dr. Poland. He's a specialist in infectious disease, and he flew all the way to LA just to teach us how to wash our hands. This is Dr. Poland. You came all the way from the Mayo Clinic?
Correct,
In
Rochester, Minnesota.
Ridiculous.
It
To show
is.
us how to wash our hands.
Because almost nobody knows how to do it.
I know, that's what I was thinking, and I do want to learn, and you want to learn too, right?
Yeah, I want to learn.
He wants to learn, so let's learn.
Right, let's do
Thank
it.
you for coming.
My pleasure.
Did you wash your hands? How we just had?
Which has traded some bacteria.
Great, we're off to a terrible start.
We're going to put some stuff on the palm of your hand that mimics what it would be like to have bacteria on your hand.
Okay.
So just want you to rub that all over your hands. I'm going to do the same thing. And the reason to do this is that if you wash your hands properly, you can prevent about 2 colds every year and about 1 or 2 episodes of nausea, vomiting, diarrhea kind of illness.
Well, I only get diarrhea when I drink milk.
Yeah. Lactose intolerant.
Yeah,
You get diarrhea when you drink milk?
yeah, I can have milk.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to turn the lights off and we're going to show
Okay.
how this actually is on our hands. So look at our hands.
Wow.
If bugs could glow, this is what it would look like. Our hands are literally covered with this stuff.
Disgusting.
All right, and then it's a real easy thing to remember. WLSRD. Wet, lather, scrub, rinse, and dry.
It's not that easy.
It's too much.
Wet the hands first.
Wet
Does the water have to be hot?
No.
No.
I do the opposite.
No.
Most people do. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get our hands wet,
Alright.
and then go ahead and put soap on here. This is hand soap. Guillermo, just 5 seconds for you. And then rinse it off and dry. And then 10 for you, Jimmy.
Okay.
Dry your hands and then turn it off.
Dry your hands and then turn it off like that.
Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put that black light on again and see whether we've actually effectively washed our hands.
Okay.
All right, so you did yours for about 5 to 7 seconds, which is what most people do. Look how dirty your hands still are.
You're so dirty.
Look at that, it said we barely removed any. All right, you did yours for about 10 to 12 seconds, much better.
See how much
You got a
better
little
mine
bit,
are?
flip your hands
See how
over.
clean I am?
Look at the thumbs. People always forget the thumbs.
Yeah, the thumbs are hard to wash.
So let's put the lights back on and we'll show you how to actually wash your hands.
What about if we are at the mall, like shopping?
What if he's at the mall shopping?
Yeah.
He should
You
not
shouldn't go.
Don't go.
Shouldn't go.
Your
Your son should be doing his homework.
You shouldn't wash your hands.
No, you should. And let me show you how we're gonna do it.
Okay.
So we flip the water on, you get enough soap,
That's a good amount of soap.
and you're gonna lather up, and then here's what we're gonna do. We start at the end, we move our way forwards. Now we do this between our fingers,
See that, Guillermo?
then the tops
Like
of our
you're praying,
hands.
please God, don't give me a cold.
Alright, so we've done it about, 20, 30 seconds, which is how long you need. Then we're gonna rinse. Just as you're doing, we get
Rinse from the testicles to
Yeah. the whole tip of the noodle. And we just shake the water off, we grab our paper towels,
like this.
there you go.
Shaking.
And then we dry our hands.
All right.
Wet hands increase the risk that we're gonna transmit bacteria, so we're gonna
Oh,
do it.
really?
Oh,
Then
so
we
we have
turn,
to dry
we
it
turn it off with the towel. If we were gonna go out of the bathroom, we open the door with that and we drop it there. Even if there's not a trash can there, you drop it. It only takes a couple of days before the janitor gets it.
Littering is a no-no.
We did a proper wash, let's see what our hands look like.
She wants you to skip it.
You're a little Mr. Filthy, so let's see.
That was good. Where's the? He's got them all.
All right, thanks, Laney, that was entertaining.
We have a surprise for you. Jimmy Kimmel's not here. We just wanted to say thank you to Cindy. You know, she had the vision almost 14 years ago. God had put in her heart to reach the community, of the elderly community, and it's grown so much. And I just want to say thank you to her, because you guys are the hands and feet being out there in the community with and fulfilling the dream that she had, that she could help people in that capacity. So I just want to say thank you for providing the opportunities for them and for us to be working with you.
Yeah, and she's just allowed us all to do what we've wanted to do and take care of the elderly. That's what I've always wanted to do. So, I mean, I look at the job opportunity she gave me, and many of you don't know my story looking back, but I became a caregiver, and I look at Cindy, all the jobs she's provided for everybody, and I mean, she's allowed me to have a lot of growth and been a good role model to me. And in a way, has helped me support my family that's grown up. So I appreciate that. And we've touched a lot of lives also. I mean, I cannot believe how many people we have helped to stay at home because you guys are a part of the team and because of her vision. Yep.
Thank you for being patient.
This company's been around for 14 years now, and we have never officially recognized Cindy for what she does. And I can certainly tell you, as her sounding board, that she has nothing but the best interest of our clients and you as caregivers. She has your best interest in mind. I've often told her, since we got married back in 2010, how much admiration and respect that I have for her for having the moxie to start this business. If it would have been up to me, it never would have gotten off the ground. She's a strong leader. She's very compassionate. And again, she always has you and our clients' best interest in mind. She's been an amazing woman to have at the head of this company. Give her a round of applause.
Say that because he tried to put a screen in here for this and I made him take it out. I didn't know what it was for. It's like, what's it in there? We don't need to do that. I don't know what you're doing. Just take it out.
Janine wanted to share something real quick.
Yeah, I just wanted to share about a client that we recently cared for it was in the Alexandria area, and it was just a lot of effort to put together. I don't know why, but it was just really compelled to get it together, and you guys all pulled together collectively, and it just felt like we really got to help this lady live her final last 2 weeks at home, and just how much it meant to her. So much so that she did pass peacefully at home, but her husband called me on Monday, and he said how appreciative he is to Alternative Senior Care, what amazing people they are, and that he took out an ad in the Echo Press to thank the caregivers from ASC for what they did for her. And so, and then, if that wasn't great enough, so that'll be out on Friday. Lainey had a call from him today too. So you want to come and share what that was?
He called he wanted the squares bill away, and he said, just want to let you know that I'm going to be putting some extra money on the bill because I want to bless your company and somehow do something special for the caregivers. So I just thought, what a gracious heart. You know, he just lost his wife, but he's just thanking everyone for what they've done for him and his wife. So thank you for being part of his journey.
Yeah.
So,
One of the things that Laniac put together not too long ago was a caregiver survey. I want to thank all those who responded to that survey, because it's through that survey and any other time we've done a survey, it's the only way we can understand what you need from us as an office and how we can improve your employment experience with us. So I just want to know that we acknowledge that we received the results, and that's our next step, is to look at those results and see what we can do to make an improvement anywhere that you guys suggested. So appreciate your input and just look forward to, I think you said one improvement that you're going to do is that the schedules will be released a month at a time instead of 2 weeks at a time. So that's already one thing that we've changed, kind of that came out of the survey. So just kind of keep your ears open. There'll be a few other things that might be changing.
All right, the Walk to End Alzheimer's. Last year was the first year for the walk in Alexandria. There's always been one in Fargo and always one in St. Cloud, but never one in Alexandria. I got involved in the planning committee to form this walk in Alexandria, and Alternative Senior Care had a team in the first walk last year, and as you can see on the right-hand side, we had a goal of $2,500, and we literally crushed it, and that wasn't even our final total. I think our final total was about $3,200. And that was like the number 3 team in the whole walk. The walk had a goal of just $25,000 for the first walk. We raised like $57,000 last year. So it was amazing. So the second annual this year is going to be on Saturday, September 7th at Alexandria City Park, which is over there.
By Big Old.
Yeah, no, not by Big, no,
On the lake, in the park.
Yeah. on Lake Agnes, kind of on the,
It's
yep,
where
the city park, yep.
Right in there.
So, again, we are having a team, and I would like to see a show of hands of how many people in here would be willing to join that team. That'd be awesome. I'm going to pass a sign-up slip around. I'm not sure where it went, Minnie. Oh, here we go. I would really like to be the #1 fundraising team this year. And our goal this year is $5,000. So what does it take? 50 caregivers at $100 a piece? Doesn't take much to raise $100. You can ask a few family members and you have already reached your goal. So I would certainly appreciate it if you would join. If you just go to alz.org/walk, or just alz.org and look for the walk. It's pretty prominent on there, but if you enter it by state or by zip code or whatever, you can find Alexandria, Minnesota pretty easily, and that will take you to this page. So down on the bottom down here, you can join a team right over here if you look and just click on Alternative Senior Care. By the way, we're already got $550 raised. So we got a really good start to start off with. And again, we're going to pass that sign-up sheet around. There's also cards on the table out there. When you guys pick up your plants to go home, you can pick up one of these cards. It's a save the date card, and there's information in here on that as well. Another thing, online reviews. I'd like to see a show of hands. How many people, when you're going to purchase something or looking at something, how many of you read online reviews? Show them high. A vast majority of you, right? 84% of people trust online reviews just as much as a personal recommendation. That's a pretty startling statistic. And what makes it troubling to me is that our online reviews are negligible. We have almost none. So what I'm asking you to do, if you feel it in your heart, to either go to Google or Facebook. On Facebook, it's really easy to find. If you go to, just search for Alternative Senior Care, go to our page, and there's a place down here that says, do you recommend Alternative Senior Care? Yes. And when you do, a box will pop up and you can recommend. If you're on Google, if you just do a Google search for Alternative Senior Care, it'll come up on the right-hand side, and you can actually just click on and write a review and do a star rating. So either yourself or, I've often said that when you're, not often said, but when you're with a client, or if you're talking to a client's family especially, if they are telling you kind words like the words that we've heard here today, it's really a golden opportunity for us to just ask them nicely if they would go onto Google or Facebook and write a review. Just let them know, hey, we appreciate it. That's why we're here. We want to provide that peace of mind for you, but also other family members as well. They need to trust us before they will even call us. So if you could go on and just write a very quick review, we'd really appreciate it. Clients probably won't even know what Google or Facebook are, but it's the family members that will be.
We get handwritten notes from clients.
Yeah.
That's their Google
Yeah.
review.
That's where these notes come from that Cindy's sharing with you. But again, we really need to increase those reviews on Facebook and on Google. Another thing is referral bonus for either client or caregiver. I'd like to see a show of hands in here. How many people have received a referral bonus for referring a client or a caregiver? At least about a quarter of you, okay? So, caregiver referrals. You guys all know what it takes to be a caregiver. You probably also know people in your circle of influence that would make a good employee for Alternative Senior Care. One of the biggest barriers that we face to growth as a company is having enough of the right people. We can hire more caregivers. Ask Lainey and Dory soon. I mean, we have people coming through that is like, no. No. We need to have the right people to do what you guys do, and for the reason that I stated before, is because you guys are the heart and soul of our company. But we need more of you. So if you refer a caregiver or a client, after the caregiver's done 100 hours worth of service, or if the client has received services for 100 hours, you need to fill out one of these forms when you refer somebody, but then we track it. And once those 100 hours have come up, we will automatically send you a check. God forbid we miss one, so if it does happen, please let us know, but I don't think we've missed any yet. So do the referral, get the form, those are in the ERSP, right?
Yes.
That form is right in ERSP, so you can actually print it out from there.
I'll stop in the office.
Or stop in the office, yep. Okay, Lainey.
How many of you are happy that we're going to have our champion trainings in Alexandria this year? I know Cindy's trying to flip-flop on them. So this year we're going to be doing our champion trainings at Grand Arbor in their community room. And if you don't know what champion trainings are, we get a grant to put on trainings that benefit the betterment of our staff, but we also include the community as well. So it's a kind of dual purpose. It's for us to learn and to glean information to better help our clients, but also we can interconnect with different companies and different health providers that can come to our trainings. So what I want to encourage you to do is read your newsletter that comes on your email, because there'll be a lot more information coming out about them. And there's a flyer in your white folder about our upcoming dementia training. It's going to be held on June 12th, and there's 2 times that you can choose from. And I encourage you guys to sign up for that one. And then our hospice one, we're teaming up with Canute Nelson Hospice, and a real dynamic speaker that's coming. She has an awesome testimony about dealing with grief and hope, and she's going to be sharing as well as the other disciplines of hospice. And that's going to be on September the 26th. And then our last champion training of the year, we are kind of still brainstorming about it, because we've got a lot of great ideas. We've just kind of see how it gets put together, but we will have more information out there. So read your email newsletters.
Lainey, do you have times on them?
I have the dementia one is in your folder. There's a morning one, I believe it's
8 to noon.
8 to noon.
And 4 to 8.
And 4 to 8. The hospice one will be probably 9 to 4. That's what we're looking at, a block of 9 to 4. And then the other one to be announced. One of the great things about the grant is that we're in the position to be able to give you a $100 bonus and a 25-cent per hour raise up into the raise cap of your pay scale. And with that, you need to be working 15 hours or more average per week. And this dementia training for signups, we said the first 40 people that sign up can still benefit from the bonus even if you've taken the dementia training before. So you'll want to see the details in your folder how to sign up for that.
And then how to go online and do that.
Right, so we are on, you can go online to sign up for this training. You can go to Eventbrite, and there's directions in your, I don't know if it's on your folder where to sign up, Mike, is it on your
No,
flyer?
it's in there.
Like this, right?
This is the one, yeah. And the web address is right on this flyer to go register for this event. We do not have the discount code on here, but there's a $10 fee, but if you enter the discount code of team members, members is plural, it's all strung together, capital T, capital M. Team members.
And there's no space between team members.
Right.
And all of you should put that code in. There's no reason we should be, our company is paid for, so don't pay the $10. Put it in the
Exactly.
code.
That should be in their newsletter again.
And that is in your newsletter. I've sent it out a few times, but look forward during paydays, 10th and 25th, for those emails. If you're not getting them, let us know, because they might be going into your spam mail, so please check that too. And the champion trainings, again, the main intention is just to equip us to better assist our clients in their needs.
How many of you have attended our awards banquet in the past? Oh, good. Well, I just want to encourage more of you. We usually have it in October. It's just another time where we can build community, build those relationships that we have here. These are just some pictures from last year's award banquets that we did. And this is a place where you can invite a significant other. So we had a lot of people invite somebody with them. Here we're giving Dottie, she got a National Caregiver Award through our organization that we belong to. And then we also started last year that we have a $250, I think it was a Visa card drawing, and you get chances all year long by this. So if you get a Caregiver of the Month award, so Malika now will get her name in the pot one time for being a Caregiver of the Month. If you give us a qualifying referral, which means that the caregiver works for us, we hire them and they work 100 hours, you would get your name in the bucket for that. Anytime you attend one of those 3 champion trainings, you get your name in the bucket for that $250. If you attend the banquet, if that's all you do is attend the banquet, you get your name in the bucket for the $250. Or we have one that says going above and beyond. If the office staff says that you've gone above and beyond what you need to do for your client, they can put your name in the bucket for that. So there's many opportunities to get your name in there for that $250 drawing. So like I said, that's usually held in October, towards the end of October. So keep your eyes open for the newsletter, and it will tell you when that's going to happen. All right, so I went out there. I asked you guys earlier to bring food shelf items. Many of you did. It was great. We can bring that to the food shelf. I think there was about 30-some items, and I said $1 per item, but I think last night we said $75. So I'll do $75 towards a nonprofit of your choice. This is the Senior Center in Alexandria, Habitat for Humanity, or Elder Care Network. You get to go on your app again like you did before and choose one of those 3 places for me to give $75 to the nonprofit.
I'm still getting all
So just type in A, B, or C.
Try typing in A, B, or C and see what you get. What is Elder Network?
Elder Network is a volunteer organization that provides companionship people to elderly people. So they don't have to pay for that service. They match up a volunteer with an elderly person just to sit and visit and stuff like that.
They also do respite care, so they do have some clients that they do respite care for, maybe as much as 4 hours in 1 week. And they also have over at Nelson Gables, they have I think it's once or twice a week, where that person can bring their loved one to Nelson Gables and they will care for them there for like 4
So many of
hours.
our clients benefit from those kind of services too.
And Habitat for Humanity has their new elder check.
Oh yeah, she said Habitat for Humanity has a new they're building houses for elderly people.
Or assisting for if they need like handicap bathrooms,
Oh,
wheelchair
improvements.
ramps, improvement.
Yeah, so those are why we chose them, because they're kind of in our area.
Somebody's got to break that tie.
Wow.
Senior Center is coming short there, come on.
Don't you feel like you're like The Voice or what? I don't know. Which one is it? Where they put the little thing on the bottom of the screen and you're supposed to vote for somebody and it's going up and down. That's what we're doing here.
Sure, that's no Kentucky Derby.
Everybody got their vote?
Everybody done? Okay.
All right. We will send a $75 check to Elder Network. Thank you so much for your donations to the food shelf too. So I think we only have one thing left, and that is to wrap it up. We have, before you leave, I want to make sure you take some more snacks, but this is where we're going to break into 3 groups. So Janine and Lainey and I have come up with 3 different topics that we thought you might like. So Lainey thought maybe you guys would like to learn about ESP, Oasis, the apps, anything with the technology that has to do with alternative senior care. You're going to stay right in here, and she's going to do that right from here. Janine has what she calls the Mitchell Method, the tips to organizing cleaning success. She is the queen of organization. And me, I like chocolate. So I'm going to talk about healthy chocolate snacks. So you can choose one of the three. Like I said, Lainey will stay here. And if you go straight out the door and down the hallway, I'm in the first room and Janine is in the second, or there's 2 doors to each room, so.
I'll stand outside.
Yeah. So we're all both on the left going down that hallway. So what we're gonna do is about a half an hour, you go down, go meet for about a half an hour in our small group. You're going to switch, go to a second one. And after a half an hour, if you are level 3, you're gonna come back in here and the nurses have some training for you to do. If you are not level 3, you are welcome to leave at that time, but before anybody leaves, we have a pansy out there for you to take home. So it was a good thing you didn't have it last night, I would have froze. So I just want to thank you all for coming and then enjoy the next breakout sessions. Is there any questions about moving around? Don't forget to take some more food, there's lots of cookies and stuff back there, so.
So why do we use so much technology? Our main reason is because we're managing things remotely. And you're in your client's home and we're in the office, and we got to make sure everything jives. So that's one reason why technology has made things a little bit more efficient. But when the system isn't working, or if we get a little bit, unsure of how to use the systems, it doesn't work foolproof for us. So we're going to explore some things today.
Yeah, it's a little techno.
I just had to do that. Okay, because that song goes in my head when I hear that word. Okay, so the 3 main systems that we use is the OASIS site, the Educare site, and the ERSP. And many of you probably, if you don't know about OASIS, which you should, if you were hired, before 2014, you had Dougherty. So this is where OASIS took Dougherty's place. With OASIS, it provides our human resources. It's an outsourced company. Their web-based access. Onboarding information starts from your first initial onboarding with the company. You have to go into OASIS to start your site. Payroll is done through OASIS. Check stubs, discounts, you can get your W-2s only through OASIS. Sometimes people have called and asked for their W-2s, they never pass our hands. It all goes through the OASIS site. And also if you want to adjust your W-4 deductions, you can go into the site to do that, or modify direct deposit. So if you change your checking account number, or you want something routed or split up in a different way, you can go on directly and let them know. Just want to get this back to green. Thank you. So we're going to look at OASIS. Maybe. So as you can see, I don't know how clear it is to you. When you go on site, you can check your personal profile, your job history, your tax withholding, all of that's in that section. And as you can see, you can change your password as well. So if you set it up one way and you want to reset it, you can do that there. Your pay stubs are accessed there, your pay history, and also you can track your paid time off, which is also on your check stubs, but that's a quick way to reference it. We have several ladies that work with a certain income that they have fixed. Maybe they have a pension or, with different requirements. So it's a good way to keep track of your hours so that you know that you don't go over. If you have any garnishments, they're listed there too. There's a benefits section, and then the resources. There's training that is aside from the Educare training you can do right with OASIS. And then this is kind of the more fun part of OASIS. There's discounts on cell phones, if you like traveling, There's a lot of discounts when it comes to like entertainment. A lot of it's more in the cities that Brenda and I noticed because we were like, woohoo, let's go to a concert. Just kind of go far. They're based in the cities, so a lot of that. But there is a lot of different discounts. I encourage you guys to look at that. Next, we're going to talk about Educare. Okay, I'm not going to lie. When I first started, Educare was getting on my nerve, my very, very last nerve. It was just hanging there. Because the format was difficult. You could only use Firefox, pop-up blocker difficulty. I think I spent more time, that's how I got to know most of you, is by our phone calls going over Educare. But the beauty of it is that Educare changed their format. It's a lot easier now. It is more user-friendly, but also it's you can use any search engine. So they say it's the lady told me it's search engine agnostic. I said, oh, I thought they were Methodist. I didn't know that. Okay, what does that mean? It means that you can use different devices and you can get in just as you would search. The problem is, some of the things that I find that's a problem though, is if you've currently in your computer, whatever system you used, when you go to type in Educare, you might still get the old site, and it even lets you log in as you. And then when you go to get your courses, it says that you don't have the credentials to open it. And so I called them and I said, this is really confusing for people. Can't you say there's a new site? And they said, no, this is one of our marketing efforts so that people know that we're still there if they don't have the other site. So it's confused people because they think that they don't have the right password. So when you open your Educare, it should look like this. And I don't know how many of you have I told, do you see the little rainbow people? People think I'm crazy. No, I don't see any rainbow people. Do you see unicorns? No, so you should see the rainbow people, and then you know you're on the right site. Educare is initially, when you first start, it is put together by a Minnesota company that has all the licensing requirements in mind for Minnesota. So it's a great company to use on that end. And then initially we can give you the courses that you need. When you go to level 3 and you test out with Sheila and Lisa, you can have the courses that way too. And then periodically I'll send out courses to meet our 8-hour-a-year requirements. And then there's external training, meaning if you go somewhere, maybe you have 2 jobs or you go to a workshop and you want to add that training into your hours, you can give us the transcript from that, and I can put it into your Educare to bulk up to give you for your annual 8. And let's see what that. This is the new, I just want to show you what the site looks like. So this is what it should look like. There's our rainbow people. And one of the things that they did differently is they made the pop-up blocker feature a little bit easier. See, I'm all about easy. That's what technology is supposed to be. And when it doesn't work after 2 hours, it's not easy anymore. So let's see how we can make it easy. Okay. One thing to do is always remember your password. That makes it easier. Write it down because I change my passwords quite frequently. Okay, so one thing I want you to see is up in this box where the star is, maybe I'll point up here, up in the box where by that star, if your pop-up blockers are need to be changed or switched out, it will give you a little window and you can look up by where you get your favorite star right there. And you can do it that way. Before you had to go into your settings and change things on your device itself. They've made that feature, even a troubleshooting thing, if your thing doesn't launch, it will tell you what to step through to make it work. So that's helped a lot. There's a lot of new courses as well, and we're going to be seeing those in the future. I'll be adding some new courses. There's even one of them I thought was really good was a hospice Bill of Rights that came out. It's a good course to coincide with the hospice care. So we talked about the new format. So now we'll talk a little bit about ERSP. This is something we use daily. All of us use ERSP even if we don't know it. So if you pick up a client's phone and you're calling to clock in and out, it's going into ERSP. Now, one of the things I want to remind you is everything's interchanged together. So the client info, the personal info, your scheduling and billing is all in one. Meaning, When Anita arrives to her client's house and she helps Mr. Jones, and she clocks in, and she clocks out, and she puts in her activities, that gets translated on our end as a billing. It also translates to your payroll. If she doesn't clock in or out, the hours are just kind of hanging there and they don't get put into the payroll. They have to be claimed. Now, one of the issues is if she forgets to put her activities in, what could happen, and I'm just picking on you, Anita, I know that this isn't, you were always good about it. Well, if you don't put your activities in, what can happen is we can get a bill to send a VA, and it says Anita was at Mr. Jones' house, but she didn't do anything. She was just there for 3 hours. So do you think they really want to pay that? Probably not. And the other part would be long-term care. Brenda works really hard to help our clients get reimbursed, and a lot of them have long-term care insurances. And if she just has a blank form to send to them, it just says the person's name, it doesn't show. Some of them actually get so detailed where there has to be bathing required or hands-on care for them to even pay. So if you neglect to chart what you do, it really slows up our clients getting reimbursed. So our main goal here collectively is to help our clients the best we can. So the best way we can do that is by helping them by doing our charting right on the bat. Plus it doesn't affect, it affects the way that the things get extracted too for billing. So if it might take 3 weeks to get, or 3 months, if you forget to clock something in, a client might get a bill and say, well, back in February, I got this bill for so-and-so, why wasn't it on the then? Well, if it took that long for us to track to get you to turn in your hours, it could slow things up for you getting paid and for them too. So my heart is to make it easier, and that would be, how can we make the system a little bit easier?
So telephony is that on ERS?
That is, yep.
And that's how everybody clocks in and out, right?
There's 2 different ways to clock in and out, but it's the same system. And we'll talk about that. There's the app on your phone, and there's the client's telephone. And it does the same thing into the same system. But the reason it works differently is this.
I've never done it through my phone, ever.
And so I've got some directions that you can look at. And it's helpful. You can do it either way. But it is helpful that if you do use the app, you have to have the geolocation device turned on. It will say, can you use the geolocator? And you have to say yes. If you have any trouble, one of the main things I found is you have to maybe go into settings. And if you search through Safari, you have to allow Safari to have geolocation. The reason why the app works differently is this. In our ERSP, the client's phone number is their file number. So if you are at someone's house and you clock in using their phone, it will pick up Mrs. Jones's address from her phone number and says she's there, this is where she clocked in, right? So we know how that works. The reason why you can't take your cell phone and call, because if you called on your cell phone, it would just show that Shelley called on her phone, and it doesn't show where you are, that you were out of range. But the app works because if you have the geolocator, just like a GPS, I mean, I've been lost. Any of you been lost before and you're like, where am I?
What's the app?
Okay, we have the app information for you on the pager. So the app you can get from the App Store and download it onto your phone. And if you have the geolocator, there's a way to access that mobile site, and you can clock in and out on your phone. You can go into activities, and on that paper that I handed out, we'll talk a little bit more about it, but you can put in the activities just as you do on the phone when they say yes.
It sounds like telephony is really a lot easier.
Well, and it is all telephony, but one is the mobile app and one is the phone. The phone is much easier. The benefits of, just like yesterday in the other session we had, one lady said that her client is always on his phone. So when she leaves, he's on his phone. And so she can't dismiss him off of the long distance call with his brother if she can't clock out. There's just other reasons too. You can kind of see if it works too. If you clock in and out, you can see that it did. But if you're out of range, sometimes you can be out of range and it won't pick up. The last resort would be a paper timesheet, which nobody wants to do.
Yeah, I have a client. I'm right inside his apartment. His phone wasn't working. I ended up calling in last week, and but mine always comes up there for bad, for.
Like bad reception?
Well, bad, it comes up that I'm
Oh, not
further-
located,
yeah, I'm
further
not-
away?
Yeah, further
Right,
away.
and that could be the way that GPS is picking up his location.
Oh, okay.
So if you ever have a discrepancy or a problem, please let us know.
That's
Because we
what
have to be
I'm
able to, there has been a few times that the phone numbers have changed on the client and we have a different phone number for them and that can mess it up. And Brenda gets calls sometimes, I know we've talked to, that people say they clocked in on telephony, but it doesn't show up. And so if you ever have something that you can tell hasn't been claimed, please let us know. So the ERSP has different features for you to view your calendar, for you to communicate, and also you can see your documents, hour reports, and now you're going to be entering your time off and PTO block times. So we're going to look at how to do that because we talked about it, but let's try that.
Isn't technology amazing when it works?
When it works, I love it. Yesterday I
We
was
struggled yesterday because the church didn't have a good internet connection and it was not working well.
Yeah. And then I ended up just kind of like having a really red face and just trying to get through it.
And if you remember your password.
Right? Well, that's always a challenge.
It is. That's why I have a book.
All right, so this is what the ERSP regular site looks like if you go on your computer or tablet. If you see your weekly schedule, can you show of hands how many of you looked at your ERSP and saw your schedule before? Most people. There has been some people in other sessions that say they haven't, so I want to encourage you guys to do it. So if I go into my calendar, I want to see the care plan of Mike. So I picked Harrison Ford just because he's like the coolest dude ever. So if he was a client, I think he'd be awesome to go help. So I'm at Harrison Ford's house, and I can see where he lives, directions, contacts, activities, attributes, medical history, and supportive devices. Now when Janine and Paula and the nurses go out to do assessments, they initially set these plans up. And sometimes if they're like a respite client or someone that just has just various visits and not really constant, things can change from one week to another or 1 month to another, maybe their mobility or a device that they're using. So please feel free to call and give us some information. If you feel that you've been on a client's home and you went there initially seeing the care plan the way that it is, our nurses, if they're involved, they're going to be there more often to know. But if there is, especially the level 1 clients that don't have as much interaction with supervisor visits, if you see something, let us know. We want these to always be current. So when we go into the schedule, let's go to let's see. So if I want to take, all right, so my husband surprises me and he's going to take me to the Bahamas. Well, not really. I think we're going to Wisconsin, but Bahamas is okay. So you can put, let's see. Let me see if I can do it. Well, I guess I'm having a little bit of difficulty. Let's see. Okay, just give me 1 second because I'm trying to get to the screen I want. My availability. So you go to my account and then you go to my availability. And there's a little X here, or a little plus sign here, add new block. So if I'm gonna try to go, I can use the arrows. If I push today, it's today, but if I move it over, it's say, okay, on June 1st, my husband's gonna take me to the Bahamas, so I'm gonna add the block. I'm gonna click on June 1st, and the reason is if I use PTO or without PTO. When you click the reason, comments, I can say rearrange to see him on another client on another day, or my client Mary will need a replacement. And you can type it into that area there, and then add the block. Now when we go over to the June 1st, you can see it says block time off. And then PTO, because I want to get paid for being off. So that's how you put it in. If you had a client scheduled, not scheduled there, it gives them the schedulers an opportunity to know that that's a day that you were going to be scheduled off. And then also, if you have a client, again, like Janine said, that gives them opportunity to see who else would be available to see that client and if you can have that time off. In CASB, you had to be kind of far in advance, and with this, you can do it pretty quickly, which I like better because I always hated when people wanted to take a vacation and they were so diligent and give us a month in advance and it still wouldn't let them because CASB had closed on those weeks. So this should be a lot easier. How are we doing on time, Mike?
I would say you probably got about 5 minutes.
Okay. So in telephony, the client phone, remember that you can still use that. We still encourage you to use that as your first method of clocking in and out. But also there is just some discrepancies in, I don't know what you want to say, some technical difficulties that we've had in like 3 times in this last month with telephony. So please feel free to try the app. You're not obligated to use the app, but it might be a better solution for you. And now I think I have a video for you. I don't know. That might be it.
There's a video.
Yeah,
There,
that
right
last
there.
one there.
Yep. We had problems playing this last time too.
There we go.
Well,
You were on it, but it won't play, huh?
I know, that's
Click
what happened.
in the center.
Click in the middle of it.
Yeah, but the arrow has to be red.
Oh.
Mike had a hard time with it last time too.
So that mileage.
We'll just have to look it up on the computer.
There you
Open
go.
and show the photo.
There you go. There you go.
My one client.
Wait just 1 second. If any of you have individual questions about different technology, please feel free to call the office and I'd love to help you so that we can do that individually. Because sometimes it's hard to, once you get in your system, every phone's different, so please feel free to give us a call. Video didn't play.
It didn't.
I'm
Won't go. Oh, it's going, Lee.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, there.
Nope.
Make a big screen.
Hey, that's kind of like back in our days.
I know. He does look like a carefree.
I mean, the list, so somebody standing there waiting for it.
I don't think I have I did once. It was one of those dumb radio shows, you know, when they pick out a phone number and then dial it and it turned out to be a public phone booth.
Yeah, I remember reading about that. See, this guy just picked up the phone and answered some very simple question and he won $2,500.
Imagine the chance of that happening twice would have to be about 1,000,000 to 1.
If you're like me, it would never happen. I never win anything. I'm sorry I brought the whole thing up.
Yeah, so much.
Hold it. Now, this is a call from a quiz show. Anything we win, we're going to split 4 ways. Agreed? If we win, it's even, Steven, okay? I answered it.
Hello? Terrific. We waited too long.
Well, you hadn't been so greedy. All right, hey, come on. So we blew it. Forget it.
that being a quiz show, we're about 1,000,000 to 1.
More like 2,000,000 to 1.
Well, looks to me like that bus just isn't going to come, so I guess I'll just walk home. It's only about 12 blocks.
Yeah, I guess I'll go over to the corner and wait for a taxi.
Oh, there's a bar across the street over there. I think I'll go over there, have a drink, and watch until the bus comes.
Well, I guess I'll go down to that little store down the street and get some pantyhose. These are shot. Very nice meeting all of you. So long, partners.
Bye.
The question today is, how many letters are in the headline of the Daily Globe?
You had to pay